we back? Are we back?
I don't
We're alive!
Wait,
Hello!
get the defibrillator.
Someone grab the shock gloves.
I'm good. Am I alive? Am I here? Okay, I'm here. Okay.
Okay, Alfred's alive. We're okay. We're okay. Oh God. That was a close one.
Yes, it was. Okay. From the dead, people. Oh, isn't it great?
Scary.
Yeah. All right. I've got to get these few things out of the way first. First of all, big thank you to Superhero Enthusiast for plugging us and giving us that arrow discussion video. Thank you so much. Thank you for helping out with the show as much as you have. And thank you for also for coming on board and doing the Aussie Canuck podcast with myself and all the work you've done with that. I really appreciate it. I thank you, man. I from the bottom of all our hearts, I think we give you a big thank you for everything you've done for the show.
Thanks, bud.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yes. So, he's sort of become the behind-the-scenes type guy that's helped out with the show a great deal. So, I think a big thank you for him. Sorry to everyone that was following the show and were like, "What happened? Where'd you guys go?" Okay, so thing to do now, guys, is I'll try and remember to do this. Look for the CFG or the Confidential Fan Guild, and you on Twitter. We've got a Twitter now, thanks to Superhero Enthusiast. We've got its own YouTube channel now, guys. So if you love the show and for whatever reason we get pulled again for copyright, go over there and you'll see the show there. Okay, so there'll be no more long-term hiatuses. It will just be on that show. Also, we're gonna continue doing this monthly. There might be some problems with this show, so let's hope that doesn't happen. Thank you to everyone who has supported the show. Anyway, we're here to talk about the character himself, not necessarily the movies, but I will probably touch on them a little bit, of James Bond. And I believe this was Mr. E's subject. Am I right?
Yes, it was. Yes, it was a long time ago when we decided, hey, what should be the first 3 topics we ever talk about? Yeah.
And that sort of got away from us, didn't it?
Yeah. It didn't get away from us. It just disappeared for a while. We were doing our own stuff. That stuff happened. So life happened. So that's what happened.
Yeah. That does happen. But where'd you want to start off with this topic, Mr. E? Because this is your topic, so.
Well, why not start where every good story starts and every good character starts, the beginning.
Yeah, so back in the 60s, we were introduced to this guy long before I think any of us were born.
Oh no, I'm a doctor. I'm the doctor, so I can go through worlds.
It was just frozen in ice, really.
So you're Walt Disney?
Hey, that's a myth.
How do we know?
Yeah.
When it comes to the movie character, we were introduced in the 50s. But if you were reading the books of the James Bond books before the movies ever came out, you were introduced to him in 1953.
Yeah. That's how long ago it was that Ian Fleming created this character that's endured for so long. And the first book was actually one of the more recent movies, which was Casino Royale. But there was a somewhat of a, from what I understand, a campy version of it done?
There were 3 versions of Casino Royale. There was the one that had an American actor play James Bond, and it had Peter Lorre as the main antagonist. There was the campy version with David Niven, Woody Allen, and Orson Welles. And then there was actually, in my opinion, the better version, or the best version of all 3 of them, with Daniel Craig and Mads Mikkelsen.
Yeah. That's the one I gather people are most familiar with. But yeah, it took us a long while just to get to the beginning, didn't it, in the movie format? So
yeah,
and that was like the reintroduction of Bond, and it was like this much more cold, dark, and serious Bond, and not to everyone's taste, especially mine, because I'm not terribly fond of this new Bond, but it's taken a decided turn in Skyfall, I think. So maybe we'll get back to the more fun and
the root
style. Yeah,
I agree with that.
Yeah.
The root.
Yeah.
But
okay. You were saying?
Dr. No. So that was probably most people's like at the time was introduction to the character, because I think that was a very interesting movie. Kind of slow paced, but not much really known about. We kind of got like little like he's the womanizer type thing. Like one of the first scenes, he's flirting with some chick at on holiday or something, and goes over and does her, and then
yeah, he goes there. When I want a bango, does it, and then gets out of there.
Yeah, so, but, like, for, especially those early ones, for those movies that didn't have, a lot of sex in them, they had a lot of sex in them.
Yeah.
It wasn't subtle about, oh, they're having sex, but they didn't show it. But it was very much implied that was what's going on.
Like a lot of budding flowers, a lot of fireworks going off, stuff like that.
No, not like that. But
they're not having sex. No, all those explosions, all that rolling around in the covers, they're not having sex. They're playing with each other.
but they do get stylistic with the implication.
Yeah.
Not that I watched all the Sean Connery movies, but I got a distinct impression from what I know about them that this is we don't get much more than that in those movies, do we? Really? Because yeah, he's a womanizer. Yeah, he's cool. He's British, and
as the movies go on, the womanizer part of it kind of fades away, because then you kind of start to develop the oh, we need to treat women right and all that. We get to that part of it. So it begins to go away from the womanizer to where the females are actually getting pretty close to stronger than him. GoldenEye to be the reference. And so it slowly begins to go away.
Yeah, does it? So that's kind of a good thing, I think. But I gather that was more the Roger Moore type era, because
Moore was hilarious. That was a hilarious Bond.
Yeah.
When you had Sean Connery and George Lazenby, they were playing it straight and like an action show. Roger Moore, when he started doing it, he just started bringing up jokes I see.
Well, the thing about the George Lazenby one is he only did one film, and that was one of the better ones, because we actually got to see Bond develop a relationship, get married, and
have it taken away from him.
Yes, at the very end, and unfortunately they didn't he wasn't able to follow it up, because he only signed on to do one movie.
No. He signed on to do more than one movie. It just more stuff behind the scenes happened.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I
Well,
gotta
that's
try
not a
to.
story
I gotta try to remember what exactly it was, cause I think. What was it? What was it? What was it? It was more of him being cocky, I think, or him like being a little bit full of himself. What George Lazenby was originally was offered a contract for 7 Bond films, but declined and left after just one, on the advice of his agent. His agent was to blame.
Yeah, well, like, I guess the feel was that that we really weren't sure if because that was like the first like big recasting of the franchise.
Yeah.
So, well, I guess the idea was, well, get out now because you're going to be constantly compared to Connery if you keep going with this, and that was kind of the thing. But
well, from what I understand, the thing about Lazenby was, he felt they weren't taking like any of his suggestions; they were just using him as a prop, practically. At least that's what I heard. He felt about it, like they weren't, respecting him, or they just used him. Anything he suggested, directors didn't listen to him, stuff like that.
Yeah, I'm very much a novice in this area, so.
Well, the way I saw the behind the scenes, like the interviews with the cast and all that, on the combo pack and all, I saw the behind the scenes stuff for that, and it was mainly how, and I heard it from the point of view of the main producer's wife, Broccoli's wife, and there was one time that he walked up to a table and it's like they were having a party and he was like, why wasn't I like told about this party? I'm the star of the film. And then like the producer, Cubby Broccoli, said, you are not a star until you earn it.
Yes. Come on.
Well, that's kind of cold.
A little respect. The guy's playing James Bond.
You cast me as the star of the movie, and
I know, but that was his first movie.
Well, one of his first. It actually wasn't his first movie.
I
know well enough that you don't get cast as James Bond in your first movie, but
I mean,
I'm sure he's.
You have a guy carrying a movie. You have to respect him.
Oh no, that was his first movie.
I don't believe you.
That was his first film, anything.
I am bringing that up.
I'm looking at it right now. I think he was a model before he became an actor.
Huh. George Lazenby?
Yeah.
I don't. But anyway, I didn't really watch much of the Roger Moore thing, so if you want to talk about that for a bit.
The Roger Moore. That was the time the Roger Moore. The best way I can describe the Roger Moore thing was that was the time when it was the 70s. We all know how the 70s were.
You need to say any more.
It was the early 70s to early 80s. He was the longest running Bond, so it's kind of like, with him, it was like practically all the people that know Bond right now who are adults, the only reason why they know it are probably because, or like who are in their 50s and 60s and all that, the person they know as James Bond is Roger Moore. Because that's the one they grew up with. And that's mainly all there is about Roger Moore. He is also considered, I think, when you think of all the Bonds put together, and like who's the number one and who's the number two, I think he's either number one or number two.
Well, actually, George Lazenby did do General Hospital before that, so that's the only thing he'd actually done. But more.
Well, why did Connery leave the role? Was it because he was getting older?
Too old. Simple fact. He was getting too old.
Okay. It was like this. When he first got casted, he originally signed on for a 5-movie contract. 5 movies were over. They signed on someone else. That was George Lazenby. George Lazenby left, and so when they got John Connery to come back for only that one movie, it was because they wanted someone that they would know. Like, oh, we need someone that they would know to play James Bond. And that was the person. They got Sean Connery, and they had it to where the only way he'd come back is so they could, so he could do another movie with them, and that was Macbeth. But they ended up not doing that movie.
And then they got Roger Moore.
Yeah.
Okay. But after Roger Moore, we got Timothy Dalton. Now, I think he was a great Bond.
Oh, he was a great Bond.
Oh my goodness. I saw both of those movies and I was like, I don't know what to think about it because I haven't really seen him in anything, but then I saw him. I was like, okay, I wish he would have had at least one more movie.
I think he's kind of a blend of Roger Moore and Sean Connery, if that makes sense. It's a little bit of Lazenby too. His own thing, mind you. I'm just saying he kind of captures what they were about.
I think he's way better than Roger Moore. I think he's more on the scale of Sean Connery because he's really good at the womanizer thing.
Because the 80s were a little darker and grittier age. Can't believe I just said that. But I think Timothy Dalton was more of the darker James Bond. I think he was darker than all the James Bond and all the other James Bond.
Yeah, but he kept such kind of a light face about things, though.
Yeah, I think that was as dark as it got in the original, era, if I can call it that.
I think his deaths had the most gruesome deaths of bad guys. Remember when they get thrown out planes, get through grinders of sorts.
Yeah, but
that was the charm, though. He was kind of such a pleasant and fun guy, yet he was doing a lot of darkness around him.
Well, technically, the main villain in his first one, The Living Daylights, he didn't technically die. He was around in the end, and then kind of he got captured by the Russians, and who knows what the Russians did to him.
Well, you get captured by the Russians in the 80s, you probably die.
And then in License to Kill, the bad guy got burnt alive.
Yeesh.
And those were just the main bad guys.
But yeah, after him, sorry to be fast forwarding, but
well, do you remember? Sorry, I just want to.
Go ahead. I have no idea where I was going.
Yeah, real quick, Timothy Dalton. It's funny they actually poked fun at the fact that he's played Bond in the Looney Tunes Back in Action movie. It basically plays he's just like the spy father of Brendan Fraser.
Well, you get cast as Bond, that's probably going to happen. That's happened to George Lazenby as well, and Sean Connery.
Yeah.
And Pierce Brosnan. Yeah. That's a thing that happens, and it's nothing new.
It was a funny nod.
Yeah.
But I think he might be one of the coolest Bonds.
Yeah.
Then after Timothy Dalton's Bond, we got Pierce Brosnan.
Yes.
There was a Bond with class.
Who, I can say, he was up to play Bond during the time when Timothy Dalton got casted. Actually, Pierce Brosnan...
It was during Roger Moore's run, wasn't it? Because he was doing a show called Remington Steele at the time, which is a really good show. Unfortunately, it didn't last that long, but it was really good. It was during that whole... Just let me finish. It was just during this whole detectives in the 80s with agencies thing. It was like a moonlighting thing.
Yeah. And Timothy Dalton, I know, was up for the role at the time when Roger Moore was casted, but he turned it down because he thought he was too young. He thought he himself was too young. And Pierce Brosnan was actually casted before Timothy Dalton got casted, but he dropped out because of Remington Steele.
Huh. Yeah. I think Brosnan may be probably look-wise one of the best Bonds. I think he really looked kind of like the perfection look you want to go for Bond. He's just, I don't know. You get a sense that women are drawn to this guy.
He was the Bond I grew up with, so
I think he fits the mold perfectly in terms of Bond.
Well, you got to remember too that there was a big absence there for a while between the Timothy Dalton era and Goldeneye, because quite a few year gap.
But it was 89 and 95. That was the gap.
Oh, 6 years. That's a big gap. But I think Goldeneye's probably my favorite Bond movie because it just moves at the right pace. It's not like the older ones that, for the time, I'm sure they were great, but they moved at a slower pace. A lot more stories could be told because you're not like now where you're being constantly bombarded by all this information, but like and that's it balances everything right. It's like it's dark enough for my tastes in Bond, and it's light enough as well. So it's the right temperature Bond, and plus we get a little bit of hint of his past, like he was teamed up with this guy 006.
I really like Sean Bean as the villain.
Yeah, he was really good. He dies in every movie, but well,
in every TV show.
Yeah, yeah. Like he can't stay. He's like, no.
That's a reference to Game of Thrones, people.
Yeah.
Spoiler if you didn't know.
Now, well, I've seen that. I know he loses his head through in that. He's never going to be the head of the Empire in that movie. But
do you think Bond dipped in popularity after the Dalton films for a while?
No, I think he was still like I don't remember anyone being like, oh, that Bond.
I think
it's too bad.
I don't think James Bond ever dipped in popularity, because if he had, then we wouldn't be having James Bond movies now.
Yeah.
It's a good point. I'm saying that's the biggest gap. That's a 5-year, 89, 91, 92, 3, 4. It's like 7.
It's quite a lot longer with Doctor Who, and that stayed relevant.
Okay, fair point. Fair. Just curious. But still, I mean, Doctor Who could have gone away for a while. Then people watch the old stuff, and they get a. Then they start to enjoy it. And
it's not like now, man. There wasn't a huge amount of DVDs back then. I think there was like a few videotapes as well. Not like they were, but not like now where you just go to any DVD shop and you can walk in and buy like a whole bunch of stuff. It wasn't like that back then.
Fair point.
But
I want to reference back to what you said about his past and all that, like how we get to see some of his past, and sort of in that direction. Because on Her Majesty's Secret Service, we see that James Bond, he had a wife and she got killed. Yeah. Well, it seems like in at least one movie of each different Bond, we got a reference to that.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and For Your Eyes Only, Bond, or Roger Moore's Bond, goes to a graveyard, and there's his wife. He goes to his wife's grave and put the flowers. And it's the very opening sequence, and Ernst Stavro Blofeld is the main antagonist in the opening sequence, and then he gets killed after the opening sequence, so it's like, boom, done, that's that. And then in License to Kill, Felix Leiter makes a reference to it, where, oh, he had a wife, and all that. And then in Pierce Brosnan, The World Is Not Enough, you can, tell, you can look in his eyes when the main female bad guy said, have you ever loved someone, or, you've always failed to protect the one that you loved, and you could just tell in his eyes that he's looking back to it.
I wouldn't mind something like that happening in the new series.
But what would it be about? Because he hasn't gotten married yet. These are the reboots.
Well, he'd be missing him, I guess.
Yeah, and the next one I expect that, but I wouldn't mind a couple of remakes of the Key movies, like that Blofeld trilogy, because that would be really cool.
I wouldn't mind like them remaking the actual, because they started off and they rebooted the entire franchise, and then they went to the first book, Casino Royale. I wouldn't mind them eventually start remaking all the books of it in
and just modernizing them.
Yeah, making movies and modernizing them. They started with Casino Royale. That was the first book of the James Bond series. That's the first movie of the rebooted James Bond series. So, this would be the fourth movie. Have it be, Live and Let Die, which was the official second book. People might not agree with me.
Not adapted?
No, all of them's been adapted. I don't think, they have short stories. I don't know if some of the short stories have been adapted.
Yeah, some of the short stories I think have been done now.
Or at least if they do the short story, they just take the name and go a completely different story.
Mm. I think you can adapt to something if a couple of the short stories. I think that's what's been done a couple of times. Is they took a couple of short stories and like expanded upon them.
Should we
But
list any favorite Bond films, or should we do that after we go through the
well,
game?
should we do that at the end, man? We'll do that at the end.
Oh, sure, no problem.
But looking further onto the future, is there anyone that you think would make a good Bond after Daniel Craig?
I gotta think about that.
Well,
it all depends how far in the future do you mean?
Well, he's only signed on to do 2 more movies, so let's say 3 or 4 years from now, someone that you think, well, maybe not right now, but in a couple of years they make a good Bond.
Well, next year is the next Bond movie. Next year is when the next Bond movie is coming out. And then they'll probably... No, wait, hold on. I gotta check something now.
Alright. Blue Dragon 5, you got any ideas?
Well, I kind of went with the consensus on, basically Hugh Jackman or Christian Bale. I mean, they could do the role well, but I mean, thinking about it now, I mean, Hugh Jackman, he's getting a little up there. Not that I think he can't do it. I'm just saying long term, but I'm saying if he's gonna, I've heard they'll talk like him retiring from Wolverine maybe and all that stuff, like whether he's coming back or not to do like Wolverine 2, regardless. And Christian Bale, I mean, he did Batman for a while. Would he really want to get into a character with that long of a?
Yeah,
exactly. So that's the thing. I mean, I think they'd be great for the role, but not sure. Well, trying to think of other people. I'm not sure. Like Cavill, it's sticking with Superman. I'm just trying. I'm saying they're also British or of a.
Well, you don't necessarily need a British person to do it. Like,
I don't know. Just even thinking of just some good actors.
Well, honestly, I can't. I'm no good at casting, but a couple
I hear a lot of people say like Michael Fassbender, Idris Elba.
Ooh.
I'm just thinking.
Fassbender would.
They're a little too. Because I'm thinking like maybe it'll be about 10 years before Daniel Craig will officially say I'm done.
No. He said it. Last I heard, he's doing 2 more, and that's it. I don't think
I know, and that's like close to maybe. Well, there's this year, next year, and then maybe. Well, that's 5 years. Like maybe around 5 years, including this year. So with that, it's kind of. It has me thinking about if in 5 years we'll probably all the people that we choose right now will probably be too old in the future to play James Bond.
Well, I've got one in mind, and he might be if he gets some seasoning and he can do a good job. I think Chris Pine would be a good choice because he's only going to do probably 1 more Trek movie, and that's going to be it.
You know what's funny?
So I think he would be good a choice.
I was mulling that over. I was afraid how you were going to react.
Well, I saw Chris Pine in something else while I was away in hospital, and well, he won me over.
Yeah,
it's that simple.
I can get behind Chris Pine or Fassbender. I mean, they're both good actors. Fassbender could be maybe a Timothy Dalton type Bond, for all we know.
Yeah.
I don't know. It could be good. We don't know.
He's tied up with X-Men. I don't want to like. You don't want to.
It looks like they have plans for him. Looks like they have plans for him too, so it might not be a good. Let's go with Chris Pine. He's good.
I'm gonna be that one person that's gonna stick to the consensus that he needs to be like like Irish or Scottish or English or Australian or Welsh. Like I'm with that because there are a lot of people who are considered like back in the 60s they considered Adam West, they considered Clint Eastwood, Alec Baldwin, like a lot of these American actors were considered, but they were just like quickly denied just because they weren't British or like somewhere around that. So I'm still just trying to stick with the consensus in my head.
Well, let me run this by you. What about this? Just now, it's an out there one, but mind you, a few years from now, it might change. What about Freddie Highmore? He's a good actor. I mean, you think he doesn't have the Bond look, does he?
Who's that? I have no idea who you're talking about.
Freddie Highmore. Okay. Well, currently he's on Bates Motel doing an astounding job. He's British, but I think you'll most famously know him. Have you ever seen that remake of Charlie and the Chocolate Factory?
Yeah.
He's the kid from that, but now he's grown up. He's
Still too young.
Oh yeah, I'm saying like years from now, playing Bond.
Mm.
I don't know, but I mean,
That's a bit far out to think. I'd have to think about it. But if we're going British, hang on. If we're going British, my standby choice, Matt Smith. I've seen him in something else where he played a completely different character, so I imagine he could do Bond, but Benedict Cumberbatch, another one, probably make a good Bond.
Andrew Garfield.
No, it's still too young. Look-wise, I know he's older than he looks, but
How about Dominic Cooper?
Remind me.
You may know him from Captain America: Winter Soldier. Not Winter Soldier. The first Avenger. He was Howard Stark.
Oh.
Yeah.
Huh.
He's British.
He might work. Tony Stark's dad, yeah, sure.
Here's one for you. What about Chris Hemsworth?
No.
He's too recognizable as Thor.
Yeah. Oh, popular guy today. Not saying he couldn't do it. It's just he hasn't got the right look for it. And he's got more of the superhero look, not the spy look. Not that I don't like the guy. I think he's.
Why I said Dominic Cooper was because there's like mini-series going on BBC right now called where is it? Fleming, the man who would be Bond, and he's playing Ian Fleming.
Okay.
Which the character that they have the character of Ian Fleming in the miniseries, they're playing it like he is like James Bond, sort of like. So it's kind of, yeah. It's like I could see him potentially playing James Bond.
Okay, here I got two for you. Okay, what about Aaron Taylor Johnson?
Name sounds familiar. Need a reference.
Okay, he plays.
Kick-Ass.
He plays Kick-Ass, and he's going to be Quicksilver in the Avengers.
Well, he's going to be hooked up with that, and I'm thinking.
Well, they don't have to bring him back for every film. I mean, again, Avengers, you don't want to get too big with the team. That's another topic for discussion. Point is, what do you think? Could he pull it off?
Yeah, he's a good actor, and I don't see why not. It's just like I don't see him as the next Bond if he's going to be in the Avengers, because that's going to be tying you up for a fair while.
The problem is, we keep thinking of good actors, but they're all committed to something. That's usually the thing. Like the other one I'm thinking of.
Well,
the only one that was close to someone not committed to anything.
Yeah, because I want to say Stephen Amell, but he's committed to Arrow.
Oh, he could do it. He could do that he could do Bond between seasons if he really wanted to.
Oh, you think he could pull it off?
Henry Cavill was actually considered for the role of Bond in Casino Royale.
That makes sense.
The only reason why he didn't get it was because he was deemed too young to play him.
Okay. Well, guys, do you want to say anything more about the character? Because he's being characterized as a womanizer, and like in the Roger Moore, let's be all political correct, that's kind of downplayed. But yeah, or there's Pierce Brosnan, it was played up again, and I mean we got I guess Christmas only come. I thought Christmas only came once. The line from the world is not enough, and ironically that title was a reference to a previous Bond film where they were talking about his family crest in On Her Majesty's Secret Service. I love that. I love that reference, but yeah, is there anything else you want to say about it? Where we hope the character might go?
I
I
could
guess is
I could say for the character, I could see him going forever until eventually they're just like, we can't do anything else with him.
yeah, because that's kind of like what happened with TV show MASH. Like they literally did everything from every possible angle in every possible way. But I think if we keep getting a new Bond, it's kind of be like Doctor Who. We'll just keep going and going.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
don't think
and
Bond's
it's
gonna
like
end anytime soon.
with the new casting of each character and all that, it's kind of to where you can see what their strengths and their thing and like their personality, and then can be like, oh, we can like write a new story where Bond still has the Bond personality, but yet because of this actor, he can change he has a completely different personality and all, so we can just do something different.
Yeah, I was more though talking about what you hope they do with the character. What's something that we hope that happens with the character?
For me, I hopefully see the character uh, in the future. I hope the character just lives on forever, and I just want to see him eventually. I just personally, for me, I want him to say this character of this version of James Bond is retiring. Like this is James Bond, and he is retiring from MI6 and all that. And it's like that's the best way to quit. It's like if they want to stop James Bond, that's the best way to do it. Just say, I'm retiring from the MI6.
Okay, Blue Dragon 5.
Well, we kind of got this with Skyfall, but I like the idea of like if given Daniel Craig, he signed on for at least 2 more movies, right?
Yeah, that's what I hear.
Well, I mean, maybe like the getting there, maybe like the last one he's going to be on there for. Keep pushing this older Bond, like Bond in a world that's kind of it's moving on. He's playing an old game, the old game espionage. What if they kept pushing it and get like an older Bond, maybe more gadget reliant? Because again, gadgets awesome. That's the thing I love the gadgets for Bond, but
Yeah.
like a Bond who's just seeing things like I'm getting older, but I can still do like a really smart, a really wise Bond. Like Bond is like really experiencing things, and then he's facing quite literally his own mortality. But again, we kind of play with this with Scott. But I guess just push it a little further with a Bond, then kind of with the next guy. I guess have him like a new face. I don't know. It depends if they acknowledge the whole. So given it's a reboot now. With the Daniel Craig stuff, they're giving this a reboot because now they have a Bond family. If they did kill him off, well, I would dare say kill him off, and then bring in a new guy, and then start officially the whole the Bond's just a code name. After that point, and then you just bring in a new guy who's living up to a legacy.
I prefer they keep that balanced. Like it can still be there because like even like I watch Skyfall, it can still be there if they really want it to be. But I just, with me, I really want to see it get back to more classic Bond, more gadgets, but
Oh yeah.
a really cool car with like machine guns and all that sort of thing.
You want to talk about some favorite gadgets?
Well, I've only got the one, and that's the grenade pen and the car itself.
Yeah. It's got 4 clicks, then it goes off in 4 seconds. It's awesome.
Yeah. But just to finish up with my thing, I wouldn't mind seeing Bond like remaking on Her Majesty's Secret Service, but in a different way, like not taking anything away from the original, like, and then doing the Blofeld type thing, like after watching those movies. But I wouldn't mind a buddy cop type movie of James Bond with 006, like, but and then eventually down the line, not right away, mind you, but down the line remaking GoldenEye in a different way.
Would you ever want to see him do something like 008 and then Bond feels inferior? Would you ever want to see him do something like that?
No.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
No, I want 006 because like I know like I want to see that like I want to see like what happened before like their real friendship on screen.
Imagine if they did something like, okay, here's the new model. That'd be I think that's when we're going to Bond's getting a little desperate when they do a 008.
You just keep doing what they're doing. I think they'll be fine.
Yeah. Going back to classics is a great idea, Mac. I gotta say, I would love to see that because again, I love the gadgets too. I love a few favorites. I love the multi-purpose briefcase from one of my favorite Bond movies. It has like so many features. Like tear gas, it's talcum powder. It's got throwing knife security devices. Really, really cool stuff. But also, you got the sonic ring. I love the sonic ring.
Okay.
Sonic ring's really cool. Of course, exploding pen, magnet, watch, TV watch, you name it. Great stuff. And the ejector seat.
Yeah. Any favorites from you, Mr. E? Oh, okay, Mr. E seems to be having problems on his end, but if he can, I'll read off anything he writes here. But I can kind of hear you, Mr. E, but keep talking.
Yeah, I think there are 3 types of Bond, really, when it boils down to it.
Yep.
You got first you get your 100%, completely suave, in control. He's practically Superman. He's basically the Bond you don't have to worry about. Like this guy's more like the Sean Connery Bond, I guess. Like you don't have to worry about this guy at all. Then the second Bond you really get is kind of a.
I can tell you my favorite gadget.
Yep.
By all means.
My favorite gadget was the first gadget, actually. The suitcase.
Nice.
Oh, okay.
When you look at the James Bond movies and the first one that actually showed the first gadget was From Russia with Love, and it was the suitcase. Had so much stuff in that one suitcase.
Yeah. Awesome.
And the car, you can't help but love the Goldfinger car.
The Aston Martin, wonderful.
All right. Seeing as we're having a little bit of problems here, we'll just round things off because it should make it to the hour limit, guys. Top 3 and bottom 3 Bond films. Mystery, why don't you go first while we know you're working? Okay.
Who are we waiting on? Are we waiting for me?
Oh, well, I mean, waiting on you. It's the top 3 and bottom 3 Bond films. Yes, we're waiting on you, Mystery.
Let me just look. Okay. Top 3. Top 3 Bond films. Okay. So is the question at me?
Yes, you.
Yes.
Okay, I'm sorry. Like the back and forth computer in and out, going in and out. So I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Okay, my top 3 Bond films. This is in no particular order. Is Skyfall, GoldenEye, and Dr. No.
Ooh.
Those are my 3 favorites.
All right.
Because each one of them made me love Bond. Now, for my 3 least favorites, at the bottom, are Moonraker, what are they? Live and Let Die. Even though I love the song in Live and Let Die, don't like the movie.
Yeah.
And looking at these movies, The Spy Who Loved Me.
Okay.
You want to know the common factor about all of those bottom 3 James Bond movies?
Roger Moore.
Each one of them had Roger Moore as James Bond.
Yeah.
It's not that he did a bad job. it was that they were not written well.
Okay. Blue Dragon 5.
So
Well,
who's next?
Yeah, Blue Dragon 5's next. I'm lucky last because.
Can I finish my three types of bond thing real quick?
Yeah, go ahead.
Yes, real quick. Second type, you got this, still very classy, but has stakes and peril. So you believe this guy's really, really good, but he still is in danger. Though if he's like on a table with a laser about to split him in two, you're worried about the guy. And the third type is kind of what we're getting now with Daniel Craig. Is this he gets the job done in the end with style, like Bond does, but he takes a lot of punishment. I mean, he's taking a lot of punishment these days.
Yeah.
But anyway, yeah. Also want to prerequisite these picks because I haven't watched Bond in a long time. I didn't have all the access, and I'm an old. Yeah, I've seen the Sean Connery ones and some of the modern ones. So I mean, I'm not the best one. I can't really rank the bottom three. The top three I can rank.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay, so number 3 is going to be Dr. No.
Okay.
Number 2, Skyfall. Number 1, From Russia with Love.
Okay.
Honorable mention Goldfinger, but otherwise, I can't really name a bottom Bond film. I mean, I wasn't too crazy about Die Another Day. I mean, again, I haven't seen it in a while. I might change my mind. Also, Moonraker didn't. I don't really remember a lot of the other ones, so I can't really.
Okay.
Be there, but that's just that's it. Yeah.
You should be happy you don't know Moonraker.
Okay, I haven't seen Moonraker yet, but I'm going to list that on my bottom three because I know what
that movie came out, and it was written in response to Star Wars.
Yeah, and you can I can see it. I've seen enough clips from it to say, yeah, that's got a bad idea for Bond, so that's going to be on my one of my
outer
bottom
space scenes.
Yeah.
Hey, Mystery, what's another really bad Bond film I can put for the number the number 3 or 1 spot? No.
Okay,
Right.
I'll just do mine. Top spot goes to GoldenEye, just because that's one I'm probably going to put in the DVD player more than any others. Tomorrow Never Dies will probably go in there because I like the concept behind that one, and yeah, like you actually get to see the car do stuff in that. And on Her Majesty's Secret Service for the other one. Because I just was really enjoying that one when I was watching these back. Bottom 3, Moonraker, Die Another Day. I guess The World Is Not Enough. It's just, I have problems with that one. I don't think it's terrible. Yeah.
Okay. Should we
Yeah.
get into what we like final summation? What really works about the character for us?
Yeah, if you want to do that, I don't. What works about the character for me is the fact that he's fun, and he's not overly complex. I think. Okay, you go ahead.
Well, for me, it's pretty much he is the best comparison.
Is it riddle time?
Wait. Yeah, no, wait. I can hear you now, but yeah. Wait, Blue Dragon 5 was just summarizing the character.
Just tell me when it's riddle time. Just tell me when it's riddle time.
Okay.
Because, as I said, you're coming in and out, so I don't know when to come in.
Okay. It's disaster here. Okay. Yeah, just quickly, your thoughts on the character Blue Dragon 5.
Yeah, I mean, the best comparison I can say, he's Batman if he were a spy. He's really cool, got a lot of cool gadgets, love that. Multi-talented. He's the guy you can kind of aspire to be. He's perfect man, ladies man. These espionage spy. He's a guy with style. At the bottom of it all, he has style and class to him while he's getting the job done. That's just really, really cool to me. And that's why Bond's endured for so many years, because he's got style and he doesn't really compromise that. no matter what his form may be, always has some sort of style and class about him.
All right.
He's old school. You gotta love it.
Okay, Mr. E, if you want to go now. Okay, he can't go now. He's dropped from the call. All right. Now he's back.
Yes. Am I? Yay!
Yay.
Okay. He just did it by himself.
Okay. Summarize the character quickly.
Okay, summarizing the character quickly. Womanizer. Someone who likes to drink. Dry vodka martini, shaken, not stirred. Awesome dude. Action hero. Sean Connery. George Lazenby. Roger Moore. Timothy Dalton. Pierce Brosnan. Daniel Craig. Maybe someone else in the future. Yeah, that's my summary.
Okay.
Nice.
Well, I'm going to get you to do your riddle now while you're coming in good.
Thank you. Okay. Riddle me this. Riddle me that. This man has been in 3 James Bond films, but only in those 3 he is seen from the face. In others, he is seen from the back of his head. Who is this man I speak of?
Oh, interesting. That's one I do not know.
That's because you have to watch all the James Bond movies to understand.
Okay. I'll tag you in now.
Well, this about does it. Right, gentlemen?
Yes?
Yeah.
Well, everyone listening, tell your friends about us, but only if they're fans.
Okay, gentlemen. I believe that is meeting adjourned. Next time, it'll be my turn, and I will get back to you guys with what that will be later.
All right.